Yo, what's good everybody? It's your boy Malcolm and I am back for another video, and in today's video we are going to be doing a lot of talk about Sir Nighteye. Now I know this is kind of a crazy time to make this video because this video probably would have been more popular like 4 years ago when season 4 came out, but I was having a debate with my homie a couple days ago about what Sir Nighteye's quirk is and like why he's so scared of it, and I thought that this would be a good time to make this video because it seems like a lot of people are confused about what his quirk actually is. But before we go any further, if you guys are new here, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. We make a bunch of dope videos about not just anime, but all types of nerd stuff, whether that be movies, comics, TV, whatever. We got videos for them. And hey, if this content isn't enough, I also have 2 podcasts. One is an anime podcast where I talk about all the new anime news with 2 of my homies. And the second one, we talk about pretty much everything, where there's life, laughter, hip hop, relationships, movies. We talk about everything over there, so go check it out. Y'all will love it. And if that's still not enough Malcolm content for y'all, I'm also live on Twitch at least 3 times a week. Come pull up. I'm probably live tonight, so make sure you come pull up and it'll be awesome. But without further ado, let's get into this video about the GOAT, Sir Nighteye. Here's the thing, we all love Sir Nighteye. He is the GOAT. He's suave, he's strict, he's strategic. He's that guy. Not only was he the #1 hero's only sidekick who basically ran the whole operation over there, but after he stopped working with All Might, he went on to make his own super successful hero agency. And when I say successful, I mean it. It's a super successful agency that runs effectively and has a high success rate with an extremely small team. And that really does come down to Night-Eye's strategicness. Is that even a word? His strategy? I don't know where I got strategicness from. Nighteye has a long list of successes under his belt, but I think the biggest success that he has is turning Mirio into the GOAT that he is. Nighteye was the one who really molded him into the effective hero that he is today. Mirio was struggling. Nighteye was the one who gave him the combat skills, the hero knowledge, pretty much everything that he has that turned him into a great hero. And once again, that just shows just how goated Nighteye is. It's easy to miss, but what one of Mirio's biggest skills is his ability to be perceptive and predict what his opponent is doing. And that means Nighteye was the perfect person to teach him because Night-Eye's biggest thing is predictions. To an extent, his whole quirk kinda is predictions. But let's take some time to talk about Sir Nighteye's quirk. Now, Sir Nighteye's quirk is foresight. It gives him the ability to look into a person's future and know what is going to happen.
After touching someone and locking eyes with them, he has the power for the next hour to see the choices that person will make. It's like he knows their every move.
The activation requirements are secret.
And when you hear that quirk, it's very easy to go, that is awesome. It might be the most OP quirk in the show. But if that was true, why is Nighteye so scared of it? Because as we've seen in the show, there's a lot of times where Nighteye explicitly states that he is not going to use his quirk because it's not going to give him the advantage that everybody thinks it's going to give him. And when you take a second to really think about his quirk, that makes a lot of sense. So let's talk about exactly what his quirk is and why it's so overrated. Night-Eye's quirk allows him to see another person's future from a third-person point of view. In order to activate this, he has to touch the intended target and make direct eye contact with them. Once the requirements are met, for the next hour, Night-Eye now has the ability to look into this person's future and see what is going to happen. And just like most quirks in My Hero Academia, there are caveats that come with it. Night-Eye can only use his power once every 24 hours. Nighteye also stated that the further into the future he gets, the less specific it gets. So if he were to look an hour into the future, obviously he knows exactly when and where these things are going to happen. But if he were to look like 10 years into the future, he does still know what's going to happen, but he doesn't know the exact circumstances or exactly when it's going to happen within those 10 years. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, that still sounds fantastic. I don't really see where the downsides are. Here's why Nighteye is so scared of that power. He stated that no matter how hard he tried to alter the future, his predictions always came true. It didn't matter how much work he did or how ridiculous the actions he took were. Once he predicted something, it was basically bound to happen. And when you think about it, that makes that power very scary because it means one of 2 things. One, either people's fates and destinies are already locked in. So no matter what actions you take or what's going to happen, your destiny is always going to come true. Or the second option, that destiny isn't already decided on, but it's his quirk that is now locking these destinies into place. And because there's no way to confirm which of these two things are true, he chooses to believe the latter because that means that destiny is now malleable as long as he doesn't lock it in. And the fact that what he sees always has to come true is what makes his quirk so negative. You would think it would be better to know exactly what's going to happen in the future, but then it kind of makes your actions futile. I know that's confusing, so let me simplify it a little bit. Look at it this way. Imagine Nighteye looks into the future and sees you getting hit by a car and breaking half the bones in your body. Because his predictions always come true, there's nothing he can do about that. No matter what happens, all your bones are going to get broken and there's nothing he can do about it. He just knows it's going to happen. But on the other side, if he doesn't use his quirk on you, now there's a possibility that you don't get hit by that car. If he looks at it and sees it, it's going to happen. But if he doesn't look at it and doesn't see it, you don't know if it's going to happen. Now there's a possibility that it may not. And that's why he limits his quirk so much and only uses it in small bursts, because he doesn't want these outcomes to be locked in forever. Because he feels as though if somebody dies or something bad happens to them after he's seen it in the future, that's his fault. Because he thinks that if he didn't look in the future, that bad outcome may not have happened. But because he did look in the future and because it did happen, that falls on him because he's the one who locked in that negative destiny for you. And when you look at it this way, his quirk comes with a lot more responsibility than you would really think. And honestly, it's a lot of the reason why Nighteye and All Might aren't buddy-buddy anymore. It's because Nighteye feels responsible for All Might's future death. Because if he wouldn't have looked into the future and seen All Might's inherent death, then in his mind, All Might would still have a chance to live in a couple years. But because I now looked into the future and I saw All Might's gonna die, that's on me. I made that happen. And that's why Nighteye doesn't use his power the way a lot of people would expect. When they were planning the mission to go raid Overhaul's base, a lot of people were saying, why don't you just look in the future and tell us what's gonna happen? Why don't you just look at me and see what I do? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And he was basically saying, what happens if I look in the future and I see us lose? Now we have no hope of getting Eri back, no hope of defeating these villains, and no hope of getting this drug off the streets because I looked at it and I saw us lose. Now obviously there's the other side of, well, what if you see us win? But isn't that kind of irresponsible to take that risk on such big things? Obviously, he's willing to take that risk on little things like will Midoriya get the work study or not, but he's not going to take a big risk that holds someone's life in the balance. He's not going to use his quirk on that. People frequently say, well, if Nighteye can't change the future, then how is he dodging all of Midoriya's attacks? So there's really two possibilities for what happened there. One, Nighteye had looked into the future and seen the whole scenario, and he knew for a fact that Midoriya was not going to touch him. So when he offered Midoriya the challenge, he knew he stood no chance in the first place. Or the second option, that Nighteye was just consistently looking into the future in small bursts, so he knew where Midoriya was going to be, and he was just moving out of the way fast enough. It's really up to you to decide which one you think happened there. Personally, I think it's way cooler if Nighteye looked into the future and was like, hey bruh, you can't beat me no matter what. I already saw it. Oh, and there's another thing we have to talk about when we're talking about Nightheye's quirk. If everything Nighteye sees always has to happen and there's no way to change it, what the fuck happened when he saw Midoriya die and Midoriya changed destiny and lived? So this one's actually tricky, but the way I see it, there's two things that could have potentially happened there. As we know, Nighteye's quirk is time-based, and Eri's quirk is also time-based. Eri has the ability to basically rewind humans and things into a past state that they were in before. So because her quirk deals with time and Nighteye's quirk deals with time, she could have potentially rewound what was supposed to happen there and just change fate with her quirk altogether. That's a possibility. The other possibility is Nighteye could have just been dead wrong about his quirk. At the end of the day, there's no rule book that tells you what these quirks do. You kind of have to figure it out yourself. So it's possible that in all the years of using his quirk, he just never properly figured out what the conditions of change were, and somehow those conditions of change were met, and that's how Deku ended up living. We really don't know. But now, having all that knowledge about Nighteye's quirk, I can say that I do think it's overrated. It's not as powerful as everybody thinks it is, but it is still a really good quirk when put in the right hands. Because Nighteye is a fucking genius and he's strategic as fuck. So while that quirk kinda is a curse, he was able to take that and use it to the utmost ability. Now, would I want that quirk? Fuck no. I'm nowhere near smart enough to be able to use that quirk anywhere near as good as Nighteye was able to. And let's be real, most people probably just can't use it that effectively. But he was able to take that quirk and turn it into something absolutely fantastic. Honestly, I would compare Nightaye's quirk kind of like Lemillion's quirk, where the quirk does suck, but with enough time, hard work, and dedication, you can turn it into something awesome. Nighteye's quirk obviously taking even more hard work and dedication and just pure talent, I guess, than Lemillion's, but it's in the same category. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about Nighteye and his quirk and how it works. Maybe I'm wrong about something. I did a pretty good amount of research, so I'm pretty confident about this, but hey, let me know what y'all think. And also, as you guys can see, I'm trying to get a lot more consistent on this YouTube channel, but I need video ideas. So if there's anything that y'all want me to talk about, whether that be ranked videos like I've done before or explanation videos like this, let me know what you guys want to see on this channel, because I'm really trying to build this up and make this something really, really cool in these next coming months. So yeah, make sure to give me those suggestions. And if you haven't done so already, you watched the whole video, you probably liked it. Please go ahead to like, share, comment, subscribe. I would appreciate that a ton. It would help me in this growth. And yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate y'all a ton, and I will catch y'all in the next one. I'm out. Peace.